A Midtown neighborhood on alert and on edge tonight after a 6-year-old goes missing. Tonight, the frantic search continues as crucial minutes pass by. Hello and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tammy Vo. 6-year-old Isabel Celis has been missing since early this morning. She disappeared overnight from her bedroom. Police, family members, and volunteers have been looking for her ever since. And new tonight, we have learned that the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and bloodhounds from the Department of Corrections are also now involved in this search. Little Isabel was last seen in her room in her home on East 12th Street. That is near Broadway and Craycroft. Family members think that someone may have snatched her out of her room, pointing to an open window. Police are now trying to figure out if she wandered away or if she was kidnapped. 9 on your side's Valerie Cavazos is live near the home with the very latest on the search. And Valerie, with all these federal agencies involved now, this has turned into a very big deal.
This is a very big deal. A lot of manpower and hours to search for this young girl. This is now being called, we just heard this just a few minutes ago, that this is being called a suspicious disappearance and possible abduction. And the reason why they're calling that, and they will continue to call that throughout this entire evening and until tomorrow, is because it's less likely that she wandered off. Based on all of the information that they've received, they've done a grid by grid search of this neighborhood and even researched it. So this has been a very extensive search. Take a look. 7 p.m. and still no sign of 6-year-old Isabel Celis, who her uncle describes as shy and not the kind of child that wanders off.
Just a sweet little girl, 6 years old, you know, all the ambition in the world. She could do whatever she wanted. Didn't really like strangers or anything like that, so very close-knitted and just very wise.
12 hours passed since her parents discovered her missing.
By all accounts, there's no indication that there's problems with this family.
So Tucson police called an all-out search using every available means possible. U.S. Marshals and FBI knocked on neighbors' doors.
The U.S. Marshals knocked on my door and asked if they could come in and look around, that there had been an abduction down the street.
Police checked all nearby businesses and video surveillance.
Anybody that might have video surveillance, just to check and see if perhaps she did wander away from the house and wandered into that area and was captured on a video surveillance system of some sort.
What is the timeline when you start getting concerned?
Well, I don't actually have a definitive timeline. And in this case, what makes it slightly more unique is that we don't have an actual piece of evidence that points us in one direction or another. So, for example, we don't have a piece of evidence that says she was definitively taken from the residence. We don't have any specific piece of evidence that tells us that she left the residence on her own.
Because of that, all information and tips coming in are taken seriously. Friends, family, and co-workers joined in to help expand the search for information.
All night tonight, tomorrow, the next day, until she comes home, just keep canvassing the area. I have people all over the area right now handing out flyers, business to business, people to people. We're driving by handing out flyers and just trying to get her name out there and her face.
I didn't think twice, posted them at the window at the registers, and we were handing some out on the bags every time they were buying something.
You can see behind me there are still some friends and co-workers who have sent thousands of flyers all throughout the city, as far north, south, east, and west as they can get. Also, we do want to mention that another big concern today was the heat. And the reason why is a 6-year-old usually doesn't have the capacity to kind of search to hydrate him or herself. So that is a big concern. So as the hours tick by, this is a very big concern for everybody involved. Tammy?
And also, we got some calls tonight from some folks who live in the neighborhood, parents who are worried, you know, is this something random? Did someone randomly kidnap this girl? Do they have reason to be worried? Any idea on that, Valerie, from police? Or if there were any problems with any family members or acquaintances that may have wanted to take this little girl?
No, and this is where police say that they have to take every single tip seriously because they have no idea. There's no indication at this point that there was any problem with the families, as we had mentioned, but anything else, any connection whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the tips have been coming in all day long and probably will continue through the night, and it's been described as thick as a phone book. Also, an Amber Alert did not go out simply because it didn't fit the criteria. There were no names or a vehicle or any indication, some lead that they can follow. So there will not be an Amber Alert issued, at least for now. The search will continue throughout the night. They're going to change over personnel, and they will continue this through the morning.
It is a heartbreaking situation, Valerie. Let's hope they find her soon. Thank you.